It says, how do you mend a broken heart? Only time, really. A lot of women out there, as well as men, are brokenhearted. Brokenhearted and damaged and feeling like, I'm not going to give another person a chance. My heart's been broken too many times. But, those tests that you went through and the things that you've learned are not to persecute someone else that may come into your life, all because they walk the same way somebody used to walk. And now all of a sudden they're guilty of everything they've ever done to you. It's not right. It's not godly. And you just might miss your soulmate for having bitterness. It's not easy waiting for Mr. or Mrs. Right. But when it's right, it comes easy. I used to wonder, I said, I was something else when I was younger. I was a guy, dude. But because I was unusual, most people couldn't see the things that was going on because I was very honest about it. And in some ways, the mere honesty of it was actually the deception in a way. But I'm just being honest because most people will not tell you the truth. And the truth is that even when a person is honest with you, there are certain things that just don't always come through. Sometimes in the honesty that things people are telling you, they're sincere in it and not even knowing that somewhere in the subconscious mind there's something that is not forthcoming, that they're not even aware of, that they're acting in. A directive that they don't even know that they're following. That can cause other people's pain and they don't even know where it's coming from, but they're just hurting, but yet they're still in love. Hold on to the very thing that's telling them everything they want to hear because it's coming directly from the truth, but not from the directive that's inside of them. And it's difficult to see. Don't expect to find anyone perfect. There was only one perfect individual, and there will only be one perfect individual. My father said, you got to find somebody that's messed up like you and be happy. In some kind of ways, that's really the way it goes. But God has somebody that's messed up like you, just right for you. But you have to give it a chance. I'm not saying let anything and everybody come into your life and just say, oh, this is my husband here. You need to check some things first, very closely. I know some people are going to get offended by some of the things I'm going to say right now, but if they do, oh well, it's just the truth. He said, who died and made me boss? Nobody died and made me boss, but I am very observant. And I've learned from it. And I've seen what certain things can do. Men, I'm going to start with you. I understand that you said that you want to have a beautiful wife and beautiful kids and all this stuff right here. You want to achieve a nice home, nice car and everything. But, all these things are wonderful, But what is you finding a person in your life that's beautiful? They might be smart, intelligent, but the only thing they care about is the amount of money that you make or what kind of car you drive. Oh yeah, that's very possible. Women, how about you? You're looking for Mr. Right. But you assume that Mr. Right has a car he drives and things like that. Maybe he's very physically fit or something like that, or maybe he sounds interesting, he speaks well, but we keep forgetting to check that one thing. And that one thing is, it's not what surrounds the individual, but is in the individual. You need to choose the God in whatever vessel it is that you choose. Because if you don't choose the God in it, then it's going to be a three-headed coin flip every time. Because when the storms come, when it starts to rain in your life, when lightning and things start going crazy, when you're not really making that money anymore, you lost your job or things are happening, what is going to adhere somebody to you if all they ever did was love the success of your life and really don't know who you are anyway? You have people that sit in church together every Sunday, jumping up and down, praising God because they got this beautiful house and beautiful car. But then again, what happens if it all goes away? What happens when the dream is shot and going down in the flames? And they realize that this is not what I signed up for. And you say, well, is their fault? There was a gold digger, there was this, there was that. But then again, are they truly to blame all by themselves? No, they're not. Because when they chose everything around you and not chose anything that's in you, you allowed them to, because you didn't see what was in that vessel. Shouldn't have been engaged for years. Think that because you went through a few arguments that you got over, that somewhere along the lines that, well, we made it through this. But yeah, but what can you make it through when you're being tested, when Satan jumps up? What happens when God goes to Satan and says, Satan, what are you doing? He says, I'm walking to and fro, back and forth in the earth, seeing whom which I may devour. And he calls out your names. And he says, oh, but you have a hedge about them, Lord. He says, but no, I'm going to drop that hedge. And if it is in you to be able to destroy this relationship, and that's all, I'm going to give you the right to do that if you can. You see, when God gets started and things started to happen, and all of a sudden jobs get shaky, relationships get a little crazy, I start to wonder in places. I'm not saying that people who truly love each other and love the God just don't have issues. We all have issues, but how can you deal with issues when there's no God in that situation? When you can't see the God past the problem? You're doomed. You have some people that sit in relationships and they think, well, if I say doomed, sometimes doom don't mean falling out of a relationship. Sometimes doom mean being in a relationship that is doomed for the rest of your life. Calling yourself, well, I'm just holding on because God put this in my life. No, you chose that situation. God will let you have what you want, but he will definitely give you what you need. Look inside the vessel. Choose the God inside the vessel. Make sure there is God inside the vessel. Sometimes, ladies, when you see a man and he's standing there and he said, well, he don't have the car I want and stuff, and I don't have the amount of money I want and everything else. He doesn't have all these things and all this right here, but something inside of him makes you feel right, but right up until the point of all the things that surround him and not the things that's in him. And all the thing that is in him is all that is God. God is testing you. He says, is she going to choose all the things around him, or is she going to choose me in him? Same thing for you, men. You're looking at that young lady and she's got, she's shapely, pretty, I've heard a lot of men say this all the time to me, oh, she is beautiful. I want to marry her. Boom. And that was a prerequisite right there. That's everything they needed. She is beautiful. I want to marry her. I want her to have my children. Wow. That's a hard test. And it's a hard learn, and some men just don't learn. It's like some women just don't learn. You wonder why you're sitting in this house. You got a mansion, like Elmer Fudd got a mansion on a yacht. But yet you're just empty inside. There's nothing like someone who is loving you from the heart of God. God is love. Now you can choose what you want. It has been very difficult for me at times, especially when I see these beautiful ladies and even the ones in church, especially. And then you sit down and you're talking, it's like, ooh, man, yeah, yeah, I got you. And you have to walk away because you know that whatever God's plan is for your life, that this is not going to work. Because see, people can become parachutes in your life. They can become that ball and chain. When I say ball and chain, I'm talking about that thing that keeps you from moving forward into what God has for your life. Because they can't see the vision or what God, or the plan that God has for your life. They won't even pray you through the storms because they take it as personal when you're going through something. And that's man or woman. I'm just saying this point blank. It's time for us to choose the God in our mates. And not what they think that God has put around them. Because just because there may be money and wealth and different things around a person or whatever it may be outside the God in them, you have to also ask yourself, who put it around them? Was it God? Could be. Could be not. Do you really want to take a chance? The only thing I'm willing to take a chance on is what's inside of her. I don't care about a car. I don't care about a house, money, and looks and everything else. If that's what that is, God's gonna make that situation beautiful. Because the one thing God will do is that when you choose the blessing of Him inside of someone, He will bless everything around you, everything around them, everything around y'all. He will bless it. He didn't say it would not be issues and things that you have to go through, but you'll go through it with Him. And I'd rather go through anything as long as God is in it and nothing without Him. I don't trust me without Him. Do you trust Him? Or do you trust yourself without Him? Choose. God is love. Choose God. Choose Him in someone and watch Him bless everything around them, around you. To God be the everlasting glory. Choose love. Choose God. God is love. God bless you all.